Hey, this is Doc Eric. Welcome to my YouTube neighborhood, the channel where we give you one mindset tip and one body set tip, typically rolled into one video. Today, what we're going to be doing is talking about flexible dieting versus clean eating, the differences between each, and which one I think personally is going to be best for your overall health and longevity, both right now as well as long term. So let's jump in. So first of all, let's talk about what is clean eating. So clean eating, we're going to loosely define it here so that we don't get bogged down by rigid terms, is these are people who typically eat whole foods, eat foods that are minimally processed, have a pulse on how much protein they need to take in on a daily basis, as well as also look into meal timing. Flexible dieters can also use some of those similar approaches, but what they do is they allow themselves to be less rigid when it comes time to what they eat in terms of overall. So clean eating is typically more of your chicken, your brown rice, and your broccoli people, whereas your flexible dieters will be able to have that occasional donut or the occasional cookie or whatever that sweet treat might be. So why would you choose one over the other? I think it's important when you look at nutrition is what are your overall goals? What would you like to have the outcome to be? For some people, doing a clean eating approach is advantageous because it basically sets you off with a set of perimeters that have pretty concrete defined borders so that you know that once you start to bump into that wall, you know how to get back on track. Think of it like the medians on the side of a highway. As soon as you hit that rumble strip, you know it's time to pull back into the lane so that you continue to hit your course. Flexible dieting is more like taking a side road or a back road to get to that same destination. Sometimes it's a dirt road, sometimes you might hit a dead end and you have to kind of hit a U-turn, but it's a little bit more loosely defined in terms of how you're eventually going to get to that final endpoint. I think the biggest thing when you are defining clean eating versus flexible dieting is who you are as an individual. If you know, for example, that you're one of those people that can be rigid for a certain period of time, but you know eventually you're going to end up falling off, you may want to adopt flexible eating a little bit sooner than later because it's going to help offset potential pitfalls or that occasional late night binge, or you might do a binge and purge where you eat clean for 5 days, then you take the weekend off, you hate yourself for it, and then you go back on program, and then you're kind of cycling on, cycling off, as opposed to being consistently consistent. So I think the overall defining feature for most people here is going to be what can you do long term? So if you think that you can do clean eating long term, or if you think that flexible dieting might be a better approach for you long term, that's pretty much the guidepost that I want you to kind of look at it from. So for most of us, clean eating works for a period of time. You can do it for a couple of weeks, especially if you have an event coming up. But I think flexible dieting long term is the official answer because it allows you to build in having an occasional treat while still maintaining your fitness goals. So if you're somebody who prefers to eat the chicken, the broccoli, and the brown rice, but also wants to have a couple of scoops of ice cream, or wants to have a candy bar or a cookie, or wants to have the freedom to go out and have dinner with their friends without having to, be hardcore and track all your macros and ask how much oil is in the salad, or was this baked or was this steamed. I think you can have a value of both. You just have to plan for it. And with that planning also allows you the freedom to indulge and have these sweet treats without beating yourself up on the back end. So the mindset tip and the body set tip for today is to look at the overall big picture and see which one is more of value for you long term. Yes, you can do each short term, but I think the answer long term is to choose the flexible dieting approach. Because what it allows you to do is it allows you to build freedom into some of your nutritional choices without having to beat yourself up on the other side of things. So don't forget to comment down below and let me know which approach that you prefer, whether it's the clean eating approach, whether it's the flexible dieting approach, whether it's a combination of both, and some of the tips and strategies that you do for yourself to allow yourself to indulge, but also still be able to track your progress and maintain and hit your fitness goals. And as always, don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. We love getting new visitors to the channel. It helps me grow the channel, but it also helps me put out content like this, which are usually questions that are generated from you guys or topics that I run into through my patient-to-patient interaction. And until next time, stay healthy.